Aloha, friends and family. I so love welcoming you with aloha. That one joyful word, aloha, carries the blessings of recognizing God in everyone, in all life, truth and humbleness, being aware in each moment, the presence of divine breath, absolute true love, divine light. These qualities of aloha are more than words or concepts. They are our true nature and available to us tangibly as tangible experiences 24/7. In that understanding and embodiment of aloha, I welcome you with aloha again, again, and again and again. I'd like to see every moment of your life filled with a more tangible and consistent experience of aloha. How does that sound to you? Living in aloha every moment. You may have heard me say that and the following before, but repetition creates reality in our lives. When we live in and as aloha, each moment of life becomes a precious blessing. The cells of our body tingle. We awake looking forward to each day, fall to sleep quickly and peacefully, and are a blessing to everyone. We are so grateful to feel, see, hear, smell, taste, and sense in all ways the magical, wondrous, miraculous beauty, diversity, and sheer magnificence of being an aloha connected human. These are my ongoing experiences of living in aloha and my blessings for you to experience too. If we haven't met before, my name is Timothy, the Magical Kids Books creator. I've written more children's books than anyone alive, 86 to date, with many more coming. My entertaining and educational family stories and courses switch on the love, bliss, and brilliance genes in all generations. Even as you're listening now, your love, bliss, brilliance genes, and more are being activated. Stories have been used for generations to pass on blessings, seed generational wisdom, and trigger aha moments within listeners. Over the past 40 years, I've helped tens of thousands of people just like you leap over some of life's most difficult challenges with grace and ease to experience the wonders of vital health, the freedom of financial wealth, the bliss of a quiet, focused mind, the joys of loving relationships, their own soul powers, and seeing their dreams come true. When you've gifted yourself the experience of listening to or reading this blog, head over to timothystutz.com, where you'll find guided meditations, exercises, fairy tales, songs, and more. Something for every member of your family to catapult you into living and thriving in more love, peace, bliss, and success. You'll find the direct link in the description box. Now, in this precious moment, I want to share the aloha blessing of being with my grandmother's sister on my mom's side of the family when she left this earth. I Love You is the second in this 6-part series, The Grief of Death and Death of Grief. Each of the dozen or so times I've been blessed to assist and be with people as they left this world transformed every aspect of my being at the time. And being with Aunt Ellen at this sacred time for her was truly mind-blowing. I also want to invite you to listen or read part 1 of this series, Courage Beyond Courage, which you'll find at timothystutz.com under the blog menu, and the direct link is in the description box. I also invite you to listen or read the blog, Are You Truly Alive? Also linked in the description box, which covers successfully negotiating the mini deaths or transitions we experience on our earthly path from cradle to grave. These mini deaths include the stages of life we move through that start in the womb, continue into the birthing stage, and move into our first 18 months, totally dependent on mom and our loved ones. Then we enter another phase from 18 months to 3 or 4 years of age, followed by the next major stage from there till when we're 11 or 12. Then it's on to the teen years and adulthood, integrating various physical, emotional, and mental abilities within each of these stages is very crucial to our overall health and happiness. I also shared in that blog about the deaths associated with letting go of activities we've enjoyed, even relished, possessions we've cherished, and relationships with loved ones, friends, family, and pets that are no longer blessing us with their daily presence for reasons other than physical death. I also shared about the mini deaths or disappointments of not getting our way, or what we thought we really needed along the pathways of our life so far, or the death of our innocence via physical or emotional abuse. I talked about the importance of fully integrating those losses in one way or another so we don't remain a prisoner of the past. I shared how a loss for one may be a win for another. What's traumatic to one may be a piece of cake for another. Again, Are You Truly Alive? Can be enjoyed at timothystutz.com. And in this precious moment, let's connect with our full aloha, our true aliveness, by bringing your hands to your heart and coming totally present. Close your eyes if it's safe to do so. Be aware of your precious breath, your divine breath. Let's let our breath take us into an experience of aloha. Feel it entering and leaving your beautiful body. Feel, perhaps even hear your beloved heartbeat. Feel the life force pulsing in, as, through, and for you. There's nowhere else to be, nothing else to do. In this moment, sincerely honor yourself as I'm honoring you. As all your beloveds no longer blessing your life with their physical presence honor you. Feel the love you are. Feel the magnificence of you as we explore the magnificent, significant, truly mind-blowing experience I had with my great aunt Ellen relative to what we might call the ultimate death, the transition when one of our close loved ones leaves this world. Aunt Ellen was the second person I ever shared Reiki with. One day, while she was visiting my grandmother, the first person who ever received Reiki from me, I heard Aunt Ellen say her knee had been hurting a lot lately. I joined them and eventually asked if I could hold her knee between my hands. When I finished, she said nothing other than thank you. 2 days later, she called my grandmother and said the pain that had been in that knee for years, which caused her to limp, was gone, and it never returned. I continued to give her Reiki treatments now and then. Most of those were focused on the top of her head, where a small horn started growing. slowly growing larger and larger to about 3 inches or 7.5 centimeters in length. Imagine a human unicorn. One day, my grandmother received a phone call that Aunt Ellen was in the hospital after having a stroke and falling. When I arrived at the hospital shortly thereafter, one of the nurses directed me to her bed in amongst several others in a large open room. I went to the bed, and after taking a quick glance at the lady laying in it, headed directly back to the nurse and told her that wasn't my aunt. She insisted it was, showing me the paperwork even. So I went back and still couldn't believe it was Aunt Ellen. Aunt Ellen was very short. The lady I was looking at was nearly as long as the bed. Aunt Ellen's face was full of wrinkles. This lady had no wrinkles, hardly at all. It seems the stroke had relaxed Ellen's body in ways that made her nearly unrecognizable from her pre-stroke self. She was also in a coma. The only way she could communicate was by shedding tears. For 2 weeks, I went to visit her once or several times a day, giving her Reiki treatments each time. Every time I was there, other relatives were visiting too. I was never alone with her. Then, one late afternoon, while in the kitchen at my grandmother's house, I got a very strong feeling to go to the hospital. Shortly thereafter, a hawk actually flew in front of the window in the direction of the hospital. When I turned the corner to enter her private room, I was quite surprised to find Aunt Ellen, still in a coma, sitting up in a meditation pose. Her nurse had propped up the back of the bed and had crossed her legs. Every time I had been there over the past 2 weeks, she was in a reclining position. I was also quite surprised that, for the first time, no one else was there. These two things let me know this very well may be the last time I would see her, but I had no idea of what was about to transpire. I had also brought some headphones with me for the first time and put them over her ears with the mantra of the Siddha Yoga lineage, Om Namah Shivaya, playing while I gave her Reiki energy. As an interesting side note, I absolutely love synchronicities. And as I'm reviewing this blog, I'm listening to Om Namah Shivaya on the night of Mahashivaratri. As Ellen was listening to the mantra with me, giving her Reiki, she started having difficulty breathing due to some fluid buildup. I called the nurse who took care of the fluids after removing the headphones, stretched Ellen's legs out, and put the back of the bed down a little. I then continued sharing Reiki with one hand on top of Ellen's head and another on her heart. Though the headphones were no longer on Ellen and the sound was off on the player with the cassette still spinning inside for the energetics, the room suddenly filled with the sound of the mantra. I'll never know whether the sound would have been audible to anyone else, but I could hear it, and Ellen could either hear or feel its vibrations, because shortly thereafter, she opened one eye for the first time. I immediately said, "I love you." Her eyes sparkled in delight, and she opened her other eye. Our eyes locked in a love embrace. Moments later, the vibrations coursing through my body became so intense, I had to drop to my knees with one hand now on her heart and the other on her abdomen. The vibrations continued to intensify and intensify to the extent I wondered if my body could contain all the energy pouring in and through it. I felt as if it might explode any moment. Totally aware of my pulsating body kneeling on the floor, I simultaneously watched and felt my spirit self, my energetic body, flowing out the top of my head and swirling with Ellen's spirit self in a divine dance of ecstasy above the bed. Amidst this intense, vibrating ecstasy, I said to myself, oh my God, we're the same energy swirling as one. The same energy is pouring forth from Ellen's 86-year-old comatose body and my strong, healthy body in its late 30s. We're the same energy. There's absolutely no difference. And it was in that divine dance of vibratory ecstasy, sacred union, my aunt's true self departed and her body was lifeless. And I was awestruck. Though I was never really close with Ellen prior to giving her Reiki treatments, I was so blessed to have one of the most blessed, ecstatic experiences ever. One that obliterated any awareness of being different from anyone else. We are truly one, beloveds, wearing different human costumes. In the true, tangible experience of that oneness, any sense or loss or grief was obliterated. I was her and she was me. A year later to the day Ellen left, I found myself, my own body, experiencing some sort of illness I don't really have a memory of today. What I do remember was falling asleep that night and dreaming, or more appropriately, experiencing Aunt Ellen at my bedside, wearing all white, holding her hands over my body at times, and massaging me at other times. Every time I returned to consciousness that night, Ellen was still there. She was with me the entire night. I awoke the next morning feeling much better and once again in thankful amazement. A line from the Lion King says, we are all connected in the great circle of life. And to this I will add, regardless of where we are in the universe, regardless of whether we're in body or totally in the spirit realms. As Sergei Kahile King says, we are all connected to everyone and everything in the universe. Therefore, everything one does as an individual affects the whole. All thoughts, words, images, prayers, blessings, and deeds are listened to by all that is. Several times after this experience with Aunt Ellen, I've connected energetically with people who were in different locations than me as they left their body or were approaching that precious moment. In each instance, I've experienced the same swirling energies of our divine essences coming together in a divine dance above me. The morning after writing the above to share with you, I found this interesting article about death in the Euro Weekly News. An 87-year-old man being treated for epilepsy was attached to an electroencephalogram machine to scan for brain seizures when he suddenly died from a heart attack, allowing scientists to accidentally record his brain activity as he departed. The electroencephalogram continued recording his brain activity, including during the 15 minutes prior to his death, allowing scientists to see what happened in the final moments of the man's life. What they found was an increase in gamma waves, brain waves that are associated with more sophisticated cognitive functions, and are especially active when we are concentrating, dreaming, and meditating, as well as retrieving memories and processing information. The recorded brain waves, known as gamma oscillations, suggest that as we die, we experience the same neural activity as during dreaming, recalling memories, or meditating. When I read this article, it made me wonder if the nurse assigned to Aunt Ellen that last night, who placed her in a meditative posture for the first time since being in the hospital, was tuned in on some level to what was about to happen. I want to thank you for connecting in, listening, or reading this today, and know that whether you've had any aha moments in the process, you have received energetic blessings that are now circulating within you, and in one way or another, integrating aspects of the topic, the grief of death and death of grief, so you can experience the love, the aloha you are evermore. And to help this integration and take you even deeper into the constant experience of your aloha, don't forget to pick up the free, powerful meditations and exercises at timothystutz.com. Meditations proven over centuries, in some cases, to establish you in your aloha. In part one of this series yesterday, Courage Beyond Courage, we ended with pondering some aspects of reincarnation. Over 2/3 of the people in the world believe in reincarnation. It's mentioned in the Bible and other holy texts over and over. If you've never had a personal experience of a past life, I'll share some simple secrets to access them in tomorrow's installment of this topic, Past Births, Future. For now, assuming we've all been here before, let me ask you again, how many times have you been here before? How many mothers, grandmothers, and aunts have you had? Do you miss those specific people who were once so instrumental, so pivotal in your daily life? No, you are free of all that. After listening today, do you see how we can be that free of everyone and everything that is no longer blessing us with their presence in this life? Free and yet ever so grateful for all we experienced with them, for all the precious gifts they gave us. Free because we know experientially, we feel in every pore of our being, we are one with them, no matter where they are in the universal flow of infinite love and life. Free because we were totally present with them in each moment they were with us. Free because we had an intimate soul-to-soul connection. I so look forward to being with you next time to continue this exploration of the grief of death and death of grief, where I'll share the blessings of being with a courageous child as he departed. I know listening to or reading about him will forever transform your consciousness relative to grief and death. It took mine to a whole new level. Once again, let's bring our time together to a close by bringing your hands to your heart and coming totally present. Close your eyes if it's safe to do so. Be aware of your precious breath, your divine gift of breath from God. Feel it entering and leaving your beautiful body. Perhaps, along with feeling your beloved heartbeat, you hear it. Feel the life force pulsing in, as, through, and for you. There's nowhere else to be, nothing else to do. Can you feel, can you sense that same spirit that was dancing above Ellen's bed as me, as her, as one, dancing, swirling inside of you in this moment? Sincerely honor yourself as I am honoring you right now, as all your beloveds, no longer blessing your life with their physical presence, honor you. Feel the love you are. Feel the magnificence of you. Feel your full aloha. There's no reason to experience anything less than your ongoing divine essence, your full aloha, beginning right now. There's also a 21-day aloha quest I've designed to boost your experience of constantly living in aloha. It's ever so simple. You can start anytime, and it requires so little time. All the details are at the link in the description box. This live stream is the 6th of 21 blogs to support that aloha quest. Blessings, blessings, blessings in all ways as you live your aloha. Please share this video, share the blog text with your friends and family. Let's give everyone an opportunity to experience their full aloha. 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 No, too. I'm available for personal consultations and assistance in helping fellow brothers and sisters move through any challenge, any stage of life, with all my blessings for peace, love, vibrant health and bliss, wrapped in an infinite rainbow of miraculous, magical miracles for you, your children, and your family. Aloha and mahalo for tuning in. Blessings, blessings, blessings. I love you.